Hey everyone, welcome to BeefJack Live. This is the God Game Reus. Not sure if I'm saying that right. R-E-U-S. It's coming out later in May. I'm Sean Cargill. Normally I'm here with Anthony Shelton as well, but today it is just me. And we were trying to do Xenoclash 2 earlier, but we're having some problems with that. So this time around we're going with Reus for now. And this is just the intro cinematic that starts in the beginning that I rather enjoy. Alright, let's get to it. Reus is currently in pretty much this is like the release version that I'm about to show, or almost. It was a preview version, they just updated it to add in-game and all that kind of stuff. So that all should be working fine. And let me start a new one. You can start the game in a free play or beginnings, tutorial, and then there's the eras, and eras are specific lengths of time and you're trying to finish a certain objectives during that time. I'll see once I start one. But you can do 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or 120 minutes. I have not unlocked 120 minutes yet. That would be more of the in-game type of thing where you get a really long time to really build up a bunch of cities. But let me just kind of hop in there and show what's going on. So I have done 13 developments. Developments are kind of like achievements. They're trying to do specific things to unlock new tiers. Once you've done a certain number of developments, you unlock the different times, like the 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or 120 minutes, like I was showing earlier. And there is also different tiers of advanced buildings, like projects that you can get. Based on how many developments you've done. I've only done 13 and there's 67, and right now on this I have one to do a fishing village, which is making a town that has pretty high prosperity, which is how well it's doing and how many projects they have completed, and just how I'd say like more economically strong they are, and with oceans right next to it. And then there's also one to finish the game, the eras, the 30-minute one that I started. So it's only a 30-minute era. There's one to finish the era with a village that has a bunch of war markers, which means they've won a bunch of battles, or the gods have interceded, which would be me, and won a bunch of battles for them by destroying the villages they're fighting, by picking sides, basically. And then the third one is just to finish an era with 3 completed and upgraded projects. So you see what those are. But there's also a lot more that you can scroll through here, as you see. You can do any of them at any time, but I kind of try to set goals for specific ones because there are so many that you could do. And here are the gods. You have the swamp god, mountain god, this big lumbering gentleman there, and then the forest god over here, and this little crab guy is the water god. Not really, I should clarify, they're not really, I mean they are gods, but the game calls them giants and they're more like titans. I like to think of them more like Titans, Greek style. That's more fun. But You always have to start a game out by making a ocean first, except for the giant god. He can start mountains anywhere, and that creates deserts, for instance. While the water god makes it so you can put swamps or forests nearby. And as you can see here, the mountain god, giant, has just created a mountain which creates desert all nearby. And the desert people focus on wealth. So all you need is one resource in one of the areas for a settlement to start, indicated by this little donkey and person up on the top left, meaning there are people roaming around looking to settle, which he's coming in now. That's just a tip telling you that desert villages are generally wealth focused. And you mix a combination in this game of wealth, science, and food. All of which you can mess with different plants, different mines, different animals. Right here we have a forest. It's kind of brushed right up against that desert village, which is probably going to make them kill each other later, but I'll see if I can stem that. Let's put down some plants with the forest giant there. And you can transmutate those basic plants into different things. So one of his starting abilities with this forest god is this leaf aspect, and you can put it on any plant. And with this plant that he put down in front of him, blueberry, if I put that onto that, it'll allow me to transmute it into a strawberry. Alternatively, if I have the lesser fruit aspect, which is one that he can only unlock later on, I can turn it into a different tree, an apple tree. But let me show you what I mean. So that's added +2 tech and 1 natura, and natura's has to do with plant life basically, and certain things will get bonuses based on natura, certain plants or mines or anything. And I just transmuted that, or transformed that into a strawberry bush. And strawberry bushes get bonuses for being next to other plants, which I don't have right there. So I'm probably going to switch that. This is the first project this town saw right here, the granary. All it requires is that I have 30 food in the town, and right now I do not. But I just got 15 extra food because I put animals right next to it, and this has a specialization that gives it +15 food for each animal within the borders, which is pretty nice. While animals, when you put them down, they spread over an area of 4. So each little block here, and it would go into town, except you can't actually put anything in the town. And each of these aspects that you can put onto things, like this leaf aspect, or for instance the water giant here has a growth aspect. They all have different levels, like they can be potent or lesser. And if they're potent, they do different things, and some plants require potent aspects to transform. Like this pear tree, which is the next step up from the strawberry, requires a potent fruit aspect to get farther. Need a little more food there, and then they can complete that. I haven't bothered with that desert village that I started yet. But since these blueberries and strawberries are next to each other, they get bonuses for being next to other planets. Like these blueberries get +10 food just for being next to those plants. So it all depends on which specific plant they are, because sometimes it's better not to upgrade them into higher tier levels, even though you would think that's how you want to go. But higher tiers are just more complex, and they can be combined in unique and special ways. But now this town has plenty enough food. It just kind of needs to fill up, and then they'll be able to complete this granary. For now, let's go off to the desert village, which is also working on a project that is entirely wealth focused, unsurprisingly. I'm gonna put these desert animals, I think. Although this mine gets a bonus for being next to another mine, so let's do that. And you can only place things within the borders, like where these watchtowers are on each side. So even though I place this one over here, right across the watchtower, it doesn't do anything yet. It will start doing stuff as soon as the border goes over, and the border went over while I was talking, because the town got big enough. So pushed out a little bit. This is just telling me a forest ambassador appeared, and they give different things to different giants. Each giant can pick up ambassadors, and a desert one just did that. They both popped up as soon as I completed the projects. The granary is completed here, and the trade post is completed over here, both of which have special things that they do in each area. So if you scroll over an ambassador, you can see what they do for that specific giant. So for the desert giant, he gets a mineral aspect that he can put onto these mines, for instance, and let them transform into different things. While the swamp god here gets something animal related. Forest one, I'm gonna give the forest one because it's pretty good for food related stuff. Swamp one gets an interesting one, but I'm going to give it to Swamp God so I can mess with animals. That's the whole world. There's still a whole lot I'm not using. You could make a whole lot of towns. Most I've had at once is 4 so far, but it gets quite challenging, as you might expect. What we haven't seen so far, this is all pretty basic at this point, is that each town has a danger level, which has to do with dangerous animals being nearby, which you can do by upgrading animals into different things. These chickens can't be upgraded into anything that's hostile, really, while the animals that you can put in the desert, like exotic animals, can be upgraded into like snakes and yeah, dangerous stuff. But there is also a greed factor, and the greedier the village gets, the more they're going to attack other villages, and eventually they could attack the gods as well. But at the moment, they respect the gods, which is indicated down here on the right. And they're both doing pretty well. This desert town has a little bit of greed, but they're not heading off to murder anything just yet. Alright, let's see. Let's make this into a tree. Kind of messed up my other plant, but that is very good by itself. So I'm just going to make more of those. I could also make that into an apple tree, but not yet. The water god is the only one that doesn't have like a water village of any kind. So if you're messing with that, it doesn't actually create a water village. You just need water for swamps. Speaking of which, I'm gonna create a swamp. So the three main types of villages are forest, desert, and swamp. Kind of waiting for them to start new projects so I can see what new things I need to put in here. This granary gets bonuses for having animals near them. So I'm gonna put another animal thing here. And you can always put more aspects onto objects. Like this tree has an extra one that you can just put whatever on to add whatever you want. Like I just added one that adds food and natura. And welcome anyone who's just joining and has no idea what I'm talking about. This is Reus by Abbey Games, and it is a God game for PC exclusively. I do believe it is going to be on Steam, and it is coming out later this month. I'm not sure on the exact release date. I believe the 16th or the 26th. I'll have to check in on that. And I will be working on a preview for this pretty soon. That's just a tip popping up. But you control 4 gods for 4 elements. You have the desert god, the water god, the forest god, and the swamp god. Each type of area has its own villages that you can create, and each village type relies heavily on a specific type of resource. So swamps are really focused on research, while forests are heavily food oriented, and deserts are wealth oriented. Start putting some food over in the desert area. The forest is still filling up. Let's see. This new project for the swamp needs food and technology, so I am working on that. And I also have these goals up here, one of which wants me to make a village only using animals, which would be kind of challenging, really challenging. The other one's a huge harbor town. The other one's finishing with 3 completed great projects, which I don't even think I can do yet, because I haven't unlocked those. Someone else just started a new project. The granary has become something else. It needs 4 plants. I only have 2 right now, so I need to get 2 more of those. It needs a lot of food, which is fine. Much easier to work with than ones that take multiple things like this one, which takes technology and food. Now this place has more than enough. So it's got a new swamp ambassador. You can only do ambassadors evenly. So if I have, for instance, I have one on my swamp god right now, my swamp giant, and then one on my forest giant, but my rock desert giant does not have any, and my water giant doesn't have any. So one of them has to take this swamp ambassador before I can take it with my other ones. And I'm gonna give it to my water. Still needs more plants before I can get that. Let's do a different plant this time. So far I've just been explaining the game so far, and I actually wanted to talk about how much of an interesting game it is. It is really surprisingly enjoyable and well done, and pretty high quality for a little game made by a small indie company, and it's their first game as far as I'm aware. And I really haven't run into any bugs, nothing. It's been impressive. It is fairly slow paced, but it's also pretty enjoyable to try to figure it out. There's like this great complexity going on as you work with multiple cities to try to build them up and get them to not kill each other, or kill each other if you want to. There's certain things that benefit from them fighting, but there's all these challenges of trying to combine plants and trees and animals and projects to make them as strong as you can. That place is done. I just turn these into rabbits, which I'm also going to do with them. But I have to do potent, so I have to use this fertility boost to make sure it is. It pretty much guarantees that the aspect that I'm put on there is going to be like the best possible kind. So right now there's a lesser one on there, but thanks to that fertility boost, it's going to be a potent one. That has created deer. So this sounds doing really well. I just need one more plant and they'll be set. You can see each town has a prosperity attached to it, and there's a total prosperity for everything collected. One of the most challenging tasks I've had it gave me was telling me to do a really high prosperity with only one town. So I had to keep that in balance, and it's really hard to keep getting ambassadors from the same town. So I had to create other towns to get other ambassadors, to get new powers, and then destroy them afterwards. So by the time I ended the game, I only had one town. Got a new forest ambassador, which has to go to my rock giant, because they've just finished their plantation. These guys are doing pretty well. They're not going anywhere at the moment. For now I just have one town of each type, but you could easily do like 6 at once. And so far no one wants to kill each other, which is awesome. Someone's building a market. These guys are. They actually need other neighbors to have better wealth than them, which is unusual, but awesome. Because I've seen other ones that require you to sacrifice other towns in order to get that project finished. I'm just trying to see what these two aspects will do and what I can turn this plant into. Looks like I can turn it into a cactus or a agave. Definitely going with that one. Now you can see hunters down here hunting these animals. Tortoises. And I do have the lesser predator aspect, so I can turn these into rattlesnakes if I wanted to. You're gonna do that. That sounds fun. Someone else just started a new project. I'm also running out of time. There's only 7 minutes left in this era. And if anyone watching has any questions, feel free. I can see the chat and all of that. So I just turned these into snakes, which I can't upgrade yet. You kind of have to mess with things to unlock different combinations and new animals, new plants. Stuff like that. Like this is telling me to try to develop humans differently to unlock it. And the snakes add danger. So this town now has a sense of danger. They're up to 10. And if they get to past that, there's different things that will happen based on that level. But right now they're okay. Alright, let's see. So, each town is kicking ass. That's going. This one's blending right into the desert one. Neither of which are fighting each other or anything like that. You can see the strength and defense of the villages. If they respect the giants. If they're influenced by danger. All the towns are pretty damn good at the moment. So I'm going to be trying to get some of these towns a little better. So right now the forest one is by far the strongest and biggest, and the desert one's getting pretty big too. And it's almost done with its project. I just need a little more. This is BeefJack Live for anyone watching. We normally do this with 1 or 2 people, normally 2, but today I am just by myself. So if you have any comments or any questions or anything, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. I think I'm start another village out here. Even though I only have 5 minutes left. That project's just about to finish. Except apparently I don't have any neighbors with 20 wealth. I'll have to do that with a new one before it runs out. As you can tell, this game is pretty slow paced, but I love God Games, I love building stuff up, so I am enjoying it quite a lot so far. There's a lot they could do with it, and they have done with it, and there's a lot to unlock. I'll probably be doing another stream at some point. This place just started as circus, which I absolutely do not have anything close to enough for. It needs 200 wealth, which is amazing, huge number for a forest. I don't even have the 200 food. This place is food focused. That must be a major, one of the great projects, which I've never completed before. And they're definitely really hard to complete in a 30-minute game. I'm not sure if people can settle on top of mountains, but you can put resources up on the mountains. Someone should be coming in here now to try to settle into this area. But maybe... Oddly enough, haven't had any wars or anything, but they have increased danger. So they have reached the middle level, which means they're not going to worry about greed because they're busy defending themselves, which is awesome if you don't want them going to war with each other. That only has 20 minutes left. And I don't know, I know when it's moving in. Oh, there they are. So, I have 1 minute to get these guys 10 more wealth. Or are they finished? Alright then. And I just got an achievement. And they've got a new ambassador. Which I'll probably give to a force gun. There's a lot of things I haven't really shown off here yet, like different combinations. I've kind of just been going on building this up into a big settlement here. And it does get really advanced looking later on, if you can get it that far. It starts to look more like a real town and less of a village, which is awesome. But it is obviously a little bit hard. Especially hard in these 30-minute ones. That's why it's an actual accomplishment to unlock the higher level ones. So you can have 60 minutes or 120 minutes to mess around with and create, because once the time ends, everything's over and it counts all your prosperity and gives you whatever developments that you got. Got another ambassador, surprisingly. Must be from that new one. Although I don't think I'll have time to get anyone there. But they just finished this tool shop. I just love all the little details in this game too. It's such a little game. Especially once it all starts becoming terrain. It just told me I have 1 minute before the giants will go to sleep. I'm gonna mess with these animals while I have time. That giant is already asleep, apparently. That's hilarious. I didn't know they'll just randomly pass out. There goes my 4 giants. 20 seconds left. One last look at everything. Last giant standing here. Down he goes. I actually didn't even unlock any development, sadly enough. Apparently I didn't experiment enough. Apologies. But this is Reus, for anyone watching, or Reus. R-E-U-S. It's coming out later this month. And we will be having more about it on BeefJack. And for now, this is the end of the stream. So thanks everyone for watching. And if you have any questions or anything about it, just hold on until we get a preview up over at BeefJack, which I'll be working on. And thank you for watching.